The Apocrypha's Echo, a storybook of unseen heroes and villains. Chapter 1. The Reluctant Ghost and the Monument Builder. Part 1. The archivist of the unseen. The tale begins not with a roar, but with a sigh. In the newly forged Ming Dynasty, the Hongwu Emperor decreed a wonder. The Great Wall would be reborn, larger, stronger, a stone serpent to guard the realm. The court cheered, the generals plotted its course, and deep in the forbidden archives, senior archivist Lin Mei saw the future. She saw it not in visions, but in numbers. Cross-referencing grain shipments from one province with population records from another, she calculated the unspoken cost. The wall would not be built with mortar alone, but with the hunger of emptied villages and the broken backs of a generation. Illustration. Lin's hand rests on a scroll. From the ink, ghostly, miniature figures rise, farmers, mothers, children looking up at her pleadingly before fading. Lin was no rebel. She believed in order, but true order, she felt, served the people, not just the throne. With no army to command, she wielded a subtler weapon, bureaucratic friction. Her echo's work was that of gentle sabotage. A crucial quarry survey would be misfiled. A column of numbers in a supply report would be ever so slightly altered. A forged ancient astrological chart predicting doom for the wall's path would find its way to a superstitious advisor. She made the project inconvenient. Part 2. The Builder of Hungry Stones. The public face of the wall was Grand Minister Lao Chen. Jovial, efficient, the model of loyalty. He spoke of legacy and safety. But every story has a shadow. Lao Chen's true desire was not a shield for the empire, but a monument to himself. His hunger was not for food, but for legacy. He needed the suffering. It was the mortar for his immortality. When his grand project faced inexplicable delays and bad luck, his keen eye spotted the pattern. A ghost was in his machine, and he began to hunt. Part 3. The Final Ledger. The hunt ended in the throne room. Accused of treason and sabotage, Lin stood silent as Lao Chen laid out his evidence. Her fate was sealed. Yet, as the guard stepped forward, she spoke not in her defense, but to ask a single, pointed question about a discrepancy concerning a miraculously cured plague in the north, a plague Lao Chen had caused and hidden. In that moment, the emperor saw not a clerk's crime, but a minister's lie. The pattern Lin had created with her 1,000 tiny corrections revealed the rotting truth beneath Lao Chen's grand monument. Lin was executed, her name scrubbed from the records. Lao Chen retired soon after. The wall was built, but its most brutal stretches were curtailed. Millions never knew her name, but they lived, loved, and thrived because of the quiet ghost in the archives. Her echo was not a sound, but a slight, merciful bend in the inflexible bamboo of history. Chapter 2. The Gardener of Carthage and the Hydra of Gold. Part 1. The Sower of Silent Storms. While Hannibal Barca, the thunderbolt of Carthage, shattered Roman legions, his younger cousin Hasdrubal waged a different war. History calls him a minor quartermaster. The Apocrypha knows him as the Sower. Hasdrubal's battlefield was the Roman mind. A philosopher-botanist, he cultivated not just food but fear. In his hidden garden, he developed his arsenal. Grains laced with ergot to induce legionary paranoia. Lacquers for lost amulets that emitted anxiety-inducing scents. Even a psychotropic algae meant for the Tiber River. His masterpiece was propaganda as biological warfare. He fabricated omens, a talking lamb, a spring of blood whispering through his network that the gods had abandoned Rome. He sought to break not their walls, but their spirit. Part 2. The Serpents at Home. Hasdrubal's true enemy wasn't Rome. It was the Carthaginian High Council. Their echoes were serpents of greed. They saw war as a transaction and Hasdrubal's subtle, psychological campaign as a waste of good silver. They wanted plunder, not patience. They undermined him, withheld funds, and finally sabotaged his life's work. Desperate to aid his brother Hannibal, the gentle gardener was forced to lead a traditional army. He was cut down at the Metaurus River, a footnote to a defeat. Yet, his echo lingered. The inexplicable terrors he seeded bred a deep, cultural paranoia in Rome. Their famed stoicism was, in part, a fortress built against the ghost of a fear they never understood. The gardener lost his war, but he planted a thorn of doubt in the heart of an empire that would itch for centuries. Chapter 3. The Mosaic Walker and the Hollow Empress Part 1. The Girl Who Walked in Reflections. In the incense-heavy era of Byzantium, Zoe was a mosaicist's apprentice with a sacred gift. She didn't just portray faces, she captured souls, and when she crafted a true likeness, she could, for a moment, step into the echo of her subjects, see their secret drives, their hidden wounds. Hired to create a portrait of the pious Empress Helena, Zoe discovered a horror. The Empress's echo was not one of devotion, but a chilling, hollow mirror void that sought to consume the vitality of the empire itself. Helena was engineering a silent coup, using Zoe's own father as a pawn. Part 2. Art as a secret weapon. Trapped, Zoe could not speak aloud. So, she spoke through her art. For the general, she hid the evidence of his treason in the saint's halo behind him, a coded message in tile and glaze. For the empress, she crafted a masterpiece of hidden warfare. Within the dazzling gold of Helena's gown, Zoe wove a psychographic labyrinth, a hidden, looping pattern in the mosaic. This was no simple curse. It was a cognitive shield. Anyone who contemplated the portrait would feel a growing, subliminal dissonance, a distrust they couldn't name, turning them against Helena's influence. Zoe then vanished, likely to a convent. The general died in a convenient accident, the empress's stalled, her support mysteriously evaporating. Zoe changed history not by confrontation, but by reframing power itself. Her legacy is the slight tilt of an empire away from a consuming darkness, a secret defense laid not in stone, but in art and perception. Epilogue. The whisper in your ear. These are but 3 whispers from the silenced corridors of the past. The archivist, the gardener, the mosaic walker. They wielded ledgers, seeds, and pigments. Their victories were absences, catastrophes that never were. Their legacy is the world as you know it, shaped in unseen ways. So the next time you read a history, remember, for every name that echoes through the ages, 100 more worked in sacred silence. They are the apocrypha, and their echo is the present you live in.